Welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University video lesson. Today we are discussing on the topic symbolic interactionism and the contributions of C.H. Cooley and George Herbert Mead. This lesson is produced for the benefit of the BA Sociology first year and first semester students. And today we have an expert, Professor H.R. Jayapal, Professor of Sociology, Karnataka State Open University, Mysore, Karnataka. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And in this class, in this lesson, we will learn about the contributions of Cooley first and then the George Herbert Mead's contributions.
Yeah.
Sir, when we start with the Cooley's contribution to the symbolic interactionism, Cooley is well known for the classification of primary and secondary groups and is everywhere in the sociological concepts and is very much associated in the development of the sociology. And regarding this symbolic interactionist perspective, so what are the major contributions of C.H. Cooley for this interactionist perspective?
Yeah, sir. C.H. Cooley, Charles Hutton Cooley, was one of the major proponents of symbolic interactionism. Charles Hutton Cooley's contributions to the concepts of self and society, symbolic interaction and primary groups are very much noted. So, in fact, Cooley didn't talk about secondary groups. Since Cooley talked about primary groups, so the opposite of primary groups, the secondary group became like it came to usage. Yeah. For Cooley, see, this is a question which has come first, like self is first or society is first, or it's like bija vriksha nyaya, like, so, or like hen and egg, which is first. So, for Cooley, what Cooley says is that Cooley is pretty clear about the conception of self and society. He says that separate individual and separate society is an abstraction which is unknown to experience and hence it is far from the reality. Let me say again, what Cooley says is separate individual and separate society, they are just an abstraction which is unknown to experience and hence it is far from the reality. What these words of Cooley imply is that individual, self and society are not separate things. We cannot consider self and society as separate. And if at all we call self and society as separate, it becomes an abstraction only, but that abstraction doesn't have the support of experience. So, therefore, it is unknown to experience. So, hence what does it mean is that it is not real. Separate self and separate society don't exist. So, self and society belongs to the distributive aspects of the same reality. They are the same different aspects of the same reality, or they are the two different coins of the, they are the two faces of the same coin. They cannot be empirically separate. Analytical purpose, for our analytical purpose, we will separate it and examine, but in reality, they cannot exist separate. If at all we try to conceptualize them as separate, that cannot become an abstraction known to experience. That will become an abstraction unknown to our experience. According to Cooley, self develops out of interaction with others. According to Cooley.
So, there is one special concept is regarding C.H. Cooley, that is looking glass self.
Yes, sir. I will tell. I will touch that. I am touching that only.
Okay.
According to Cooley, self develops out of interaction with others. So, unless individual interacts with others, unless individual interacts with another person. Self means what? Self is an awareness of oneself. Self is an awareness of oneself. How can I be aware of myself when I am not aware of others? If I am aware of others means, if I am aware of another person means, it also implies that I am also aware of myself. Awareness about myself can come only through the awareness of others. If I am able to differentiate them, he, she, he, me, that is a differentiation process, awareness, so that there is an awareness of self. So, therefore, self develops out of interaction with others. So, therefore, the roots of self are in interaction, social interaction. So, therefore, self is social.
Okay.
So, self is social in origin. Okay. What Cooley further says is that it arises dialectically. It arises dialectically through communication. It is through communication it arises. How, sir? In a dialectical fashion. Okay, dialectical means, see, me and he, she and me. So, there will be, so awareness about myself, the reflection about myself, evaluation about myself can only come through the awareness of myself and others. So, it dialectically, me and they, he or she or me. This is, so dialectically, it develops. How it develops? Through communication. Dialectical means there are two objects here, me and she. So through my interaction with she, my awareness about self develops. See, she is wearing very good dress. So, now nice dress. Who gave you? Who bought you? So I will be evaluating. Oh, it's a red dress. So she is looking very good. So then I will think about myself. How do I look in that red dress? If I wear that dress. So that's how the awareness starts. Cooley says further, there is no sense of I. There is no sense of I without correlative sense of you or he or she. That's what I already said. If I don't recognize he or she or they, there is no meaning for I.
Yes.
I cannot develop the feelings about myself as I unless I recognize them as he or she or they. So, therefore, what Cooley said is that there is no sense of I without correlative sense of you, ye or they. That means the sense of I and they or he or she develop correlatively. One cannot exist without the others. One cannot exist without the others. Self cannot exist without the society. Or society cannot exist without the self. Right, sir. Further, as you have said, Cooley's theory of self is called as looking glass self.
Right.
Looking glass
Right,
self.
right.
Yes. So, there what Cooley talks is self emerges in process. Self emerges in process. Not that it's not a product that all of a sudden it comes. It develops in the interaction process. It develops in the interaction process. So he goes on further and says that each to each, a looking glass, each to each looking glass
Right.
reflects the other that doth pass. The reflects the other that does pass. So it becomes looking glass self. Let me repeat again these words. Each to each, a looking glass reflects the others that does pass. So I will be reflecting you, you will be reflecting me. So I will be reflecting myself through your lens.
Yeah.
I will be reflecting myself through. See, now I have
come. So the other person becomes a glass for us.
Yes. Others becomes glass. How? Through myself.
Right.
I have seen you, I have talked to you, now you have gone, now I am sitting. Now I am reflecting myself. How? In myself, through myself, but through you. The looking glass self is, that will be operating in my sense of self. But you are the reason for that. So, each to each, a looking glass reflects the other that does pass. So, that transmits. So, this is called as looking glass mechanism. there are three properties of this looking glass mechanism, looking glass self. There are three properties of looking glass self concept.
Okay, sir.
Number one, the imagination of appearance to others. The first one is the imagination of appearance to others. Let us say, if I wear a good shirt, if I wear a good shoe, and today with new shirts and trouser and good pant, or with new dress I will be coming. So I will be thinking, what others think about me? What my friend thinks about me? Will he come and ask me, hey, is it new dress? When did you buy this? Who got you this? Did you get it from your father? Did your father get you this? It's nice. I will be thinking, will he come there? Will he come and tell it to me? What he can tell me? So therefore the imagination will be going in our mind. Imagination of appearance to others. How I will be, most of our the things will be deriving from our imagination. How I appear to them. What type of opinion they will be holding about me. Second, imagination of his or her judgment about that appearance. Imagination of his or her judgment about that appearance. So we will be imagining how she will be thinking about my dress. See, that means, will she appreciate me? She may be appreciating me, she may appreciate me, or she may not appreciate me, she may grow jealous about me. So we will keep imagining about their judgment
about us.
What judgment he make. Third property is, out of these two developments, the third aspect is the resultant feelings. Out of our imagination of our appearance to others, out of our imagination of their judgment to our appearance, we develop the feelings. That come from imagination. So we develop the feelings. So if she says, yeah, definitely if she appreciates me, she will appreciate me. I will be very happy. So pride will come. Definitely they will appreciate my homework. Definitely they will appreciate my work. Definitely they will appreciate my article, essay. So if I imagine that, if I imagine their response to my this one, then I will feel pride, happy. So if I develop the imagination where they will be not appreciating, instead they will be criticizing me, then I will develop some sort of mortification. Like some sort of mortification feelings will be there. So these are the, like a sort of like a self-punishment like that. So I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done this, like this, these feelings will develop in us. So these are the three properties of looking glass self-concept. So and all these aspects of self and society, the sense of development of I and me, or they or she, all takes place in a small group interaction, where interaction takes place between, where it is face-to-face interaction, where
a meaningful interaction.
That interaction, there is a face-to-face and intimate relations,
right,
which Cooley called as primary group. So therefore self and society are the conception and awareness of myself as self, about others, all developed in the context of small group relations.
Okay, thank you sir for explaining about the contributions of C.H. Cooley. And we have another sociologist there, that is George Herbert Mead. Can you say about the contributions of George Herbert Mead for the social interactionist perspective?
Symbolic interactionist perspective.
Symbolic interactionist perspective.
I think if time is not the criterion, if time is not the constraining point, then I can talk about George Herbert Mead in hours together.
Okay,
because his theory is such a wonderful, interesting theory that holds one's attention. So George Herbert's theory of symbolic interactionism is known as mind, self and society. We say it's George Herbert Mead's theory of mind, self and society. So see, he's connecting three aspects, three variables he's connecting: mind, self,
society
and society. And I made it pretty clear in my previous class about the symbolic interactionism as a perspective. While tracing the intellectual influence on symbolic interactionism, we made it clear that pragmatism of John Dewey, So the same John Dewey, even Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was very much influenced by the pragmatism of John Dewey. So the same John Dewey very much influenced George Herbert Mead. George Herbert Dewey's perspective is known as pragmatism. And so in Kannada we call it as Vyavaharika Vada, we say in Kannada. I don't know Telugu, what's any word, equivalent word. Pragmatism. So Dewey, in his pragmatism, he gave more emphasis to capabilities of individuals. His capabilities of individual, particularly he focused more on mind. Okay. So yeah, mind, capabilities of mind. This Dewey's arguments about human mind has left significant impact on Mead's thinking. So therefore, Mead started, while understanding the process of self and society, so as I made it very pretty clear that symbolic interactionism is a micro in nature. It focuses on interaction between individuals, interaction that takes place in small groups, relatively simple small groups, not in a big institutions.
Yeah.
It focuses on interpersonal, it's a interaction between individuals that takes place in groups, small groups. It is face-to-face relations. So therefore, the nature of reality that is captured or that is analyzed here is micro in nature. See, there is one thing, there is a rift going in, there was a rift in sociology between the debates of agency and structure. So, structure, those who emphasize the role of those who give more priority to structure in explaining social reality, they will ignore the individuals, they will ignore the actions of individuals. They think that all these mighty social structures, all these big impersonal social structures are created out of thin world. They are created on their own world. They have come into existence on their own. No. That's why Max Weber said, in sociology we may talk about any big things, big conceptual things, macro things. Unless we may talk about macro concepts, whether we talk about class, whether we talk about status, whether we talk about structure, authority, whatever it may be. There is no point in it. But unless we connect such concepts to social action, it's of no use. Because everything emanates from social action. Social action is the base. It is out of social action. When it comes to symbolic interactionism, it is interaction.
Okay.
It is from symbolic interactionism. It is out of symbolic interaction the society or social reality is constructed. So therefore, Mead focused more on the symbolic interactionism as a perspective, focuses more on micro reality. Mead, there are three, sir. Mind, self and society. Without mind, there cannot be self and there will not be a society also. So for self to exist, for self and society to exist, prior to that, mind should exist. What is mind? For Mead, mind is an analytical construct. For Mead, mind is an analytical construct. It's an analytical construct. So, what mind does, according to Mead? Mind recognizes the objects in external world. Mind recognizes the objects in external world. It recognizes, it differentiates, it separates. Second, mind, it rehearses alternative lines of action. So this is a very important capability, important aspect of mind. Mind rehearses alternative lines of action. What comes out in the form of action is the final possibility. So mind rehearses several or n number of possibilities, A, B, C, D, E, F, and it selects appropriate lines of action.
Okay.
It selects appropriate lines of action and it inhibits inappropriate lines of action. So, mind recognizes the objects in the external world. It can differentiate. Second, it can rehearse alternative lines of action.
Mm-hmm.
And the next is, it can restrain inappropriate lines of action. So mind, so therefore mind should first exist for self to develop. So mind should exist first for self to develop. Only when mind is able to identify the objects in external environment and it's able to select an appropriate line of action, and we call this a role taking. There is an important concept in symbolic interactionism, role taking. So only when person develops the capacity of mind, only when the capacity of mind develops in one person, then the self starts. Because when mind recognizes the external objects in the environment, so it also recognizes the person. So person recognizes himself, is able to recognize objects and differentiate. So the person is able to recognize himself as an object.
Okay.
That is an important to self. So if I feel myself means I am. So myself means, that means I am able to differentiate others. While talking about self, Mead, he distinguishes two aspects, I and me. I and me. I means is an impulsive aspect. So I am an individual, I am an actor, I involve in action, I initiate the things, I start the things.
So I and me both are associated with the
Self.
an individual only.
It's
person.
one person.
One person.
One person. I means I will start the things.
Yes.
I will lead the things. I will initiate the things. After starting the things, after initiating the things, so then we will think, I shouldn't have started this. I shouldn't have started in this way. I should have made more preparations. That is reflection. That is me. Or I will, hey, why did I act like that with him? I could have been more kind enough to him. Is it right on my path to act like that? This is a reflecting self. It is present in both. It is a two faces of the same coin.
Yeah.
As an impulsive person, I will go ahead, I'll jump and go ahead and do the things. And after some time, on the basis of my interpretation of others' responses, then I will think, what I did is right? Was right? Should I have done that? I could have. Then no. From next onwards, let me not do such things. So these are the evaluations we will be taking off about.
So starts with I and ends with me.
Me. That the reflections a person derives from me will inform the further actions of I.
Right.
That's how the person will modify. So how mind, self, and society. When society comes into existence, society is, for me, it is nothing but an organized pattern of interaction. For me, society is an organized pattern of interaction. Mead doesn't conceive society as big impersonal structure. So, see, there is a society here. Myself and we are talking to each other, we are interacting each other. A society is built here. A society is manifesting here. For Mead, society is an organized pattern of interaction. Okay, right. So, in order for society to emerge, individuals should be able to take the role of others. This is known as role taking. It's an important major concept in sociology, role taking. That means role taking means it's a capability of individual. I should be able to take the role of someone else. In my mind,
action.
Yes,
the action.
In my mind, I should be able to take it. So before gauging your response, before interpreting your, before expecting your, before your response breaks out, I will be, before reacting to your action, I will be thinking, I will be taking your role. If I act like this, what you will do? So then I will be taking your role taking. I will take your role. So on the basis of role taking, on the basis of taking your role only, I will alter or modify my action. So when person is able to take the roles of many others. So here Mead classifies play stage, game stage, and generalized other. 3 stages. When child plays with mother, when child interacts with mothers. So when the child, which is still, it is depending on its mother for mother's milk as food. Even when a child hears the mother's sound, If she comes, that gesture itself is enough for the kid or child, small child to interact with. So the child may show some actions, it may laugh, it may smile, or it may make some movements.
Automatically.
Yeah, while looking at her mother, that is called as play stage. It may also show some sort of affection towards father or someone else. It's a small, it's a play stage. When child is able to take the role of several others, it is called as game. That is called as game, where the child is able to take the role of not few, several others. So in a home,
where identity starts.
Identity started when self starts in individual.
Okay.
Whenever individual becomes aware of himself, the identity has started. Because becoming aware of myself means becoming aware of others also. So then itself identity starts. So after the development of mind and self only, the child will be able to develop feelings for our mother or father or anything. When individual is able to take the role of many others, that is called as Cooley, George Herbert Mead calls it as attitudes of community, a community of attitudes. He calls it as a community of attitudes. So in a game, in a play stage, in a game stage, I will be able to read the attitudes of few. In generalized other, play stage, game stage, the third is generalized other. In generalized other, the child is able to take the community of attitudes. It can take everyone's. He can gauge him. He can predict her. She can predict him. So simultaneously, he or she can take the roles of others. This is a society. This is generalized others. So I am rest are generalized others. This is the building block of symbolic interactionist theory of George Herbert Mead. Such a beautiful theory. If time is not a constraint, we will take up every matter. Even we can explain symbol for 1 hour. I can explain symbol for an hour, gesture for an hour.
Thank you sir, for your contribution to our learners. So they can easily understand the concept of symbolic interactionist perspective very easily at the contributions of George Herbert Mead and C.H. Cooley. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, and thank you very much. I would like to extend my very warm thanks to the Department of Sociology and Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University for having given me this wonderful opportunity to present my views. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Madam,